In this video, we are going to be answering these questions. What is a discovered attack in chess? How to discover attack in chess? And how to prevent discovered attacks in chess. Please make sure you watch the previous videos on chess before this one, because you'll learn many more concepts in chess which will turn you from zero to hero. I'll leave the link of those chess videos in the description below. Now onto the video. Today we are going to be learning about discovered attacks. Tactics for those sneaky chess players that like to go around sneakily taking away all of your opponent's pieces. Discovered attacks are when one of your pieces moves out of the way so that the piece behind the other piece can check the opponent's king. Now, keywords. Your piece. If this was an enemy's piece, you wouldn't be able to move it, and it would be a pin, not a discovered attack. So make sure you get that correctly. And it also doesn't have to be a king. It can be any other piece. It's usually a king or the queen though. There are some rules to it though. One of them is that the piece behind has to be a long-ranged piece. You can't have, let's say, a pawn next to the king, because if you have a pawn here, white's pawn here and black's king here, first of all that's check, and also that's not a long-ranged piece. If you have the pawn over here and the king where it is currently, there's this one space gap and the pawn is attacking nothing. So it has to be a long-ranged piece, and when it is a discovered attack, it has to attack another piece, or should attack another piece. For example, this bishop is eyeing this black king. As you can see, they're on the same file, but white's pawn is in the way, blocking the check. Now pawns can only go forward, so we don't have much of an option as of where we can move the pawn, so we just push it forward. And as you can see now, we move the pawn out of the way and it is check now. Notice how we are also attacking the rook, but black doesn't have time to save the rook. And black has to save the king, because king is 100,000 times more important than a little old rook. So the king is practically forced to move. It has no choice. Once the king moves, then we just take this rook absolutely for free. There were no consequences. And let's say black tries to chase after the pawn. We can just push the pawn and we're going to promote no matter what. Now if black tries to go after the pawn, we can just defend it. And then we will eventually bring our king closer, and then we will win the game, because then the black king will be forced to move out. On to our second position. Now this is the start of the board. This is a very common example of what happens when your opponent copies you. White plays e4. Black responds with e5. Mirroring each other. White moves the knight. Black also moves the knight. White takes, black takes. White attacks the black knight. And there are two options white can do. One of them is to mirror you, copy you again, and then when we take, if black takes, we take again. No good at all. Now if black realizes that they can't take this white's knight, well now they just lost a knight and that you're up 3 points or $3. What black can also do is black can move the knight out of the way, realizing that, but then you have a sneaky tactic. You can go around, since Once we move the knight, we are going to be checking black's king. We just have to move the knight anywhere. Can you spot the correct move that will win tons and tons of material? Pause your videos and figure it out. Okay, well if you're back, you must have found the move knight takes f7. Now this seems like a very good move. After all, you're attacking the queen and the rook. Well, if you found this move, you'd only be half right. Yes, we are attacking the king and both the queen and the rook. But remember, black, one of the ways of CPR, one of the ways to what you can do when you're in check is capture the first letter CPR. Black can take, and we just lost our knight. The correct move is knight to c6. And I know, this sounds like an absolutely wild move. There are a bajillion attackers attacking this one square. Why on earth would you put your knight there? Well, because black can't do anything about it. Black's currently in check. Black has to move out of check. Black has to save themselves. So, it doesn't matter what black does. Let's say black just moves this bishop because you can't run away. Now we take this queen, and we just won the queen on the first couple moves, first 6 or 7 moves. Very good way to win material. If your opponent copies, you remember that. Very important. In the final position. This is very similar to the first position, except this is a bishop, not a pawn. And it's a rook that would be attacking the king. Now this is a light squared bishop, and by now you should know that we want to attack another piece. What other piece does black have? The black queen. The black queen is coincidentally also on a dark square, a light square. So you know the drill. We have to move the bishop somewhere that it would be attacking the queen and checking the black king. Now there are 2 moves that can do this. One bad, one absolutely horrific. No, one bad and one good. I'll show you the bad one first. The bad one is the move bishop to f7. Now this might seem very good. After all, you might think that the reason it's bad is because what black can take. But remember, black is in check. Black cannot take. But black can take the rook. And when black does that, we are going to be check. And it's not just going to be check, it's going to be checkmate. The king is blocked in by his own row of pawns. Let's go back. That was a horrible move because we end up getting checkmated. Now what's the better move? The better move is bishop to f3. Now it might look like it does the same thing. After all, we're checking the black king and attacking the queen. But what this move does that the previous move doesn't is it blocks the vision or the queen's vision to the rook. Our rook is not being attacked anymore. Black's queen is in danger and our bishop is defended. It does not matter where black moves, we take the queen on the next turn. We have 2 pawns, we should go on to promote them since black can't get near us, and we should win the game. So now that you've learned about discovered attacks, all you need to do is practice to master them. Write down your top learning in the comment box below. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!